Welcome back, everybody. Season 2, episode 11 of The Golden Ticket. It's been a little while. I'm Jimmy Collins.
Isaiah Dunn.
I'm Reese Sanders.
Back in the studio finally for the first time in like a month.
Forever.
Or so, month and a half.
Too long.
We'll say a month.
Way too long.
Way too long.
Yes.
It's a long time coming. Missed you guys.
Spring break
Aw.
and then spring football for Isaiah.
Yeah, spring game.
Spring track for Reese, right?
Why? Yeah.
It's the spring
yeah,
season
you're
now?
right. You're right.
Spring
We're
running.
outdoor now,
Outdoor.
which is where I love to be. Outdoors.
It's getting nicer out too.
Yeah.
So that's
A
fine.
little bit.
It was
yeah.
really nice yesterday and today.
Yeah, it got better.
Today was like there was some
Cold.
rain,
It was cold.
cold and windy
Yep,
rain.
this morning.
Yeah.
That's kind of
No
what we're
bueno.
going with. You don't really know what you're
But
gonna
like
get.
yesterday was so nice. I got out to the golf course.
Oh.
How'd you do?
Fine.
Your fine's probably really good.
I went on a golf trip this past weekend actually with all my friends up in northern Michigan.
That's fun.
You know, I saw that.
My first time back
Yeah.
out. So it was a lot of fun.
That's fun.
We got to play before I
I
graduate.
know. Facts. With J Mick wants to play too,
All right.
but I'm not good, Jimmy. So we might have to play best ball.
I'm not saying
I'll play.
I'm not saying
Last time
that
I
I
saw
am
you
good
play.
though. I didn't say I was.
Last time I saw her play, she did TikTok, and then didn't you end up just driving?
Yeah, you just drove.
You just
the golf
ended
cart.
up driving.
I didn't make that. I did
You
say
sure?
like,
I'm pretty
oh,
sure
my
she
dad
did.
said I had potential, and then the clip was like me swinging, and then I was making a bunch of divots.
Divots aren't necessarily bad,
Yeah, maybe not on the
Hmm.
green.
but
Maybe.
oh yeah, you don't want to do it on the green.
We're gonna do maybe like a golden ticket golf experience.
Actually, like we could be like mic'd up.
That'd be kind of funny.
Wait,
That would be fun.
I
ideas
think I have mics
for the
too.
finale.
We could do you guys against me, best ball.
That's actually fair.
No.
Because then it would
We
just
would
be
be-
pretty much me.
Yeah. No, she might actually be better than me. I'm not very good.
I'm not
Come
that
on.
bad. I grew up on a golf course.
That's nice.
Did you use it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
I can't make fun of you because I'm not very good. So who am I to say? You know,
That's why I
But you're out there. You're working.
I'm
you're
working.
getting better.
I can putt. Like I can actually putt. Not like I can putt.
See, that's where I add all my strokes is putting because
See,
I
that's
always
where-
because I always read the green wrong.
Honestly, I'm actually solid at golf besides driving.
Okay.
So if it's
That
a
was
long,
my that
that's
was
the issue. It always hooks.
when I was starting to play during COVID. Driving was always my issue, and then I've gotten a lot more consistent, so that's helped. But then my putting has gotten worse.
It's okay.
So
really important.
yeah, it
Sure.
is. It's,
Wait,
you
it was.
can quickly add a lot of strokes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, my dad says driving for show, putting for dough.
Putting for
Okay.
dough,
I
yeah.
heard that. Some legit stuff. right
Luckily, I'm not playing for any money, so
Okay,
That's fun.
well, let's get into it.
let's get into it.
I know we said it's been a while, but I feel like a lot has happened in the last month or two.
Yeah.
And all great things, but we're gathered here today to talk about. What did you want to talk about
She
again?
said we are gathered here
Talking-
today.
We're going to talk about like job industry, and
Yeah.
I know Isaiah and Reese both recently
Sports
got
media.
internships for the summer in sports media. I'm looking to work in sports media post grad, so I'm still in that process. So I thought it'd be good to get back in the studio and talk about it a little bit.
All right, you can go first, Reese.
Wow, thank you. Talking about it first. Yeah, we were talking about internships, and last time I think I was on the pod, maybe not. I said I got an internship with ESPN, which was true, but I decided to take a different route and become a content creator with Under Armour, which I'm super excited about. I think that's just kind of where the internet is going, and television is great. I've kind of realized that TV, you know, like especially live television, unless it's sports, has kind of just faded away. A lot of it's going to streaming and
True.
YouTube and TikTok, Instagram Reels. So I really enjoy the short content stuff. So I thought, you know, I love Under Armour. I love their products. So I thought this was a great opportunity that just kind of fell into my lap that I felt like I had to take. So social media is kind of where I'm seeing my life go. It's easy. Well, maybe not always easy, but I feel like it's good money for the amount of hours that I put in. And it's been pretty awesome building that platform. And we talked about how this podcast has really helped us with our career. And I think that kind of just goes for like, go for it. You know, if you're thinking of starting something, do it. And I'm so glad that we started this because that's what I started posting. And that's what started to get me rolling. And that's kind of what I have taken away from all of this, and that's where my future is going.
It's in Maryland, right?
Maryland,
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
So
I heard it's dangerous there, but I feel like it's dangerous everywhere.
so what were you going to be doing exactly?
Yeah,
Every
I think...
day TikTok.
Why'd you say it like that?
Well, because that would really at this point be no different.
Yeah.
I love Jimmy.
You're right. I don't even know how much I'm allowed to disclose, but
Fair.
I know that it's, they're looking for one person to do this job,
Mhm.
and it would be me in the headquarters, hopefully
Nice.
traveling as well to all the Under Armour events, talking to athletes
Oh, wow.
with Under Armour, and then they're
Sweet.
starting a podcast actually that they want me to be a
dope.
part of. So
you would just leave us?
I'm not leaving you.
It's just the golden ticket at heart.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like, when they were looking at me as someone to hire, this podcast was a big thing for them because they knew I had experience in talking, podcasting, and I
Yeah.
had real stuff that I could show them.
Sure.
So,
Real
yeah.
good stuff.
It's amazing. But yeah,
That's exciting.
I know. It felt like at ESPN I wouldn't have gotten that much experience in the field that I actually want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This one seemed more fun and more creative, which I'm excited for.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. It'll be fun.
So Jimmy,
Do I popcorn the next person? Because you were about to say Jimmy, weren't you?
you can popcorn.
Popcorn Jimmy.
Jimmy. I mean, I don't really have much right now.
If you could have like your dream summer right now,
My dream summer?
like your goal summer, like where you want to be and where you want to go.
Um,
You have those pinpoints.
I don't know. I don't really have like a set spot where I really want to be. I feel like I kind of have a lot of options,
Right.
which is good. Applying for jobs is like so brutal.
I bet.
Like, I didn't really realize it because I thought last year that I would just go back to the place that I was over last summer, do the sports media there, and that didn't work out from a logistical standpoint. So,
Right.
I would say it was around the national championship that
Mhm.
time is when I really started, kind of putting myself out there, meeting new people, kind of cold emailing a lot of people and
Mhm.
trying to set up calls, and can be discouraging. I've met, a lot of people from my hometown of Metro Detroit, Cincinnati. I'd still be open to go back there. I've looked a little bit in Charlotte, Chicago, so pretty much all over the place.
Yeah.
And when you're looking for something, what is it that you're looking for? What are the words that stick out to you when you're job searching?
Well, I would say, I've always wanted to do sports media. Obviously, if push came to shove one day and I had a job where I could just do this all day and have a team that, edited it for me and posted clips for me, and the social media team and all that would be pretty awesome. But I ultimately want to work in sports, whether it's just sports media for a company in a city, covering the teams in the city,
Mhm.
or more of like a nationwide thing, or it could also just be working for a team doing other things. I've also looked into like media marketing, sales, stuff like that with specific teams. So I wouldn't say exactly
Mhm.
I have like one thing that I really want, just because I'm talking to so many different people that I feel like I have so many options open, but also no options open, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So I don't
Yeah.
necessarily want to put all my eggs in one basket when that may not work out. So kind of keeping multiple things open. Don't, as hard as it may be, I know when you guys start applying for jobs, obviously, hopefully you guys have good summers. You can go back and work what you did this summer.
Yeah.
But
Not always the case.
the biggest thing that I've learned is you can't be discouraged when you get told no, and you can't be discouraged because you think you're being annoying.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like,
What do you mean by the second one?
the
Like-
people that you're talking to are super busy. They ultimately want to help you out. Otherwise,
You
they
have to
wouldn't have
keep-
applied in the first place.
Keep in touch.
Sometimes it just slips their mind. Like, everyone lives a super
Right.
busy life.
Right.
Don't
So
be
don't be
afraid
afraid
to
to
be
reach
like,
out. You're
oh,
not being annoying.
I texted this person a week ago to set up a call. They said yes. You told them the times you were available, and maybe they didn't respond back. Don't be afraid to just send them another one. Say, hey, would still love to do this, this, and that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time
For
they'll just
sure.
see it pop up and they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to respond. I meant to respond to
Right.
that last week, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's been hard. I think it's something I've gotten a little bit better at over time. When I was first really starting to apply back in like January, I didn't want to be like the annoying, pushy applicant and stuff like that. But yeah, I met a lot of cool people, and
It's fun.
hopefully something works out here soon. I don't know. We'll see.
It will.
Yeah.
It always does. But definitely whoever gets you is going to get a steal because you know your stuff
For
inside and out.
sure.
But that's exciting.
Yeah.
Got to stay in touch. I agree, though. That's something that I had to work on, too. Just being more
Annoying.
Persistent.
Like, you really do. You have to be persistent with whoever you're, like, talking to. Just because they have a really busy job and they have busy lives. But they also typically want to help. And they're really nice.
And it's also like not every place that I've talked to is even hiring right now.
Yeah.
Which has been kind of tough. Like you hop on a call and they're like, oh, we really like everything you have on your resume. Like, we're glad we could hop on a call, but we don't have any spots open, which is, sometimes tough. But also like maybe if you go 2-3 years down the line and they do have something that opens up, they could always
remember your name.
That person could always remember you, and
Yeah,
you're connected and stuff like that.
Them.
So you never know. I don't know.
For sure.
I'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
It's more so about making the connections because you just don't know who's going to be where and what's going to be what with.
I trust
the unknown future.
I trust that God's got a plan, whether how long it takes.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting a little annoying. It's taking this long.
Do you compare yourself to your friends a lot or not really? Because I know that they're in a totally different.
Yeah, all my friends do
field.
a lot of different stuff. They might be coming on here in the future, so we'll hear from them. But yeah, they do a lot of them do business stuff. A lot of them do econ. A lot of them
do they have
couple
jobs
computer
lined up?
science. Most of them do. Yeah, a lot of them just have recently got jobs in like the last month or so. There's still a small handful of us that don't have them, but yeah, I mean, I definitely do, but not necessarily like in a bad way. I think it's just more of like oh man, I wish I had this figured out. Just really so I could just tell people that I have it figured out. It's not that I don't think it's going to happen or that I'm stressed about it not happening, but I just want to have it figured out, can kind of just enjoy the last month here.
I hear you.
But I don't necessarily think they're better than me. A lot of their careers too have it's a much more of like a strict path of like the way people get into their industry. So it's like, oh, you do this internship and then usually you go back there for whichever company you're with, or you use that to apply to these companies, and then you do all these hire views and all this stuff and this and all these interviews, and then you get to the last one and then you get hired. And it's just not really like that. In sports media, it's kind of just
gotta learn. You gotta meet
people and hope someone's got a job opening and hope they like you.
And if just hopefully that when you're good to everybody, if they might not have a job opening now, like you said, later on,
right,
it might happen. But I think the main thing is just not going into it thinking that they owe you anything, just like how you're doing, Jimmy. So
yeah,
right, people will come and you'll be perfect for the job. I already know that. But that's
Zay,
Zay.
Popcorn. Yeah, no. So this spring's been really fun. It's been busy for sure. Junior year for us, it's kind of crazy to think about. But no, football has been a blast. And then I've gotten in touch with now doing the ESPN internship in Bristol, Connecticut this summer, which I'm so stoked about. I was so hyped when I got the phone call. My mom was so
awesome.
Aww.
Thanks, guys. No, it's definitely an honor and a privilege, and I'm gonna make the most out of it when I'm out there. And I have some family out there, so I get to see see some of them.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, like just my immediate family is out there. So, but so I'm super excited about ESPN. It's gonna be so much fun. And
tell me about it. I want to hear what you're gonna be doing.
What I'm gonna be doing?
If you know.
So there was two options. There was production side, and then there was I think it was more corporate side of things, and so I had an option to go to New York or Bristol, Connecticut.
Ooh,
Yeah,
really?
there's two different ones, but New York is more for
Corporate?
Yeah.
corporate, and
Bristol's where all the magic happens.
Bristol,
The
Bristol's all in
headquarters?
yeah, basically it's the headquarters where all
Yeah.
the main broadcasters are, and so I'll be helping with the social media stuff as well while I'm out there,
Nice.
but also just shadowing the broadcasters and
So awesome.
meeting people, forming connections. I'll get whoever.
Do you think they'll let you go on the air?
Probably not, but hey, I'm not expecting anything. But if it happens, I will make the most out of it. But,
Where are you gonna live out there? Do they have like a campus?
They
or-
have a hotel and stuff for all the interns, which is super exciting.
It's gonna be
But,
awesome.
So you figured that out then?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm
still looking for a place
thankful.
to
All
live.
glory to God. But for yours, yeah, you'll figure it out.
But that's super exciting, Zach.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. You know, I'm stoked. But besides that, life's been good. Just busy with school and finals coming up.
How many weeks will you be out there?
10.
10, and then you're coming back here for football.
Yeah, how does that work?
So I'll be gone.
You basically just say,
June 1st to
listen.
August 8th. Well, when people have internships, they understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's awesome.
It's like a few guys did it last year too.
That's
but-
great.
Just depending on what they have and what they're doing.
I feel like that seems like I mean, actually, I could be wrong, but isn't like football summer brutal?
Yeah.
You were here all summer last summer.
Yeah.
Right?
I've done it the last 2 years.
So you deserve a little. Break.
No, I'm super
Can't
excited
believe
though.
that.
Yeah, no, it's insane though. It's surreal when I'm still thinking about it.
So
It's like
awesome.
I'm pinching myself. But I mean, that was also a lot of help from Notre Dame as well. People of Aqua,
Yeah.
so clutch, awesome guy, super helpful, and just the Notre Dame connections, which is why I have no doubt that you'll thrive,
That
Jimmy, because
will be just
that
fine.
Notre Dame tied to Jimmy Collins is pretty goated. So those two mixed in. But yeah,
Thanks,
guys. That's what I have for my podcast.
So,
I feel like.
do you think that, or like, what was the process for that?
The process. So a long time ago, before football, like season, might have been beginning of football season.
Yeah.
I sat down with
Pete?
Pete Aqua.
Yeah.
And I told him like my dreams and aspirations. And so, nicest guy ever. He listened to me. He understood my dreams, and he got me connected with a few people. And I stayed connected with them. But then during one of our playoff games, he called me over while we were warming up. I think it was when we were playing Georgia. I think it was
Oh wow.
that game. He called me over. He introduced me to like 4 guys, and I shook all their hands. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna say them. And I texted him after. I'm like, hey, like who were some of those guys that I met? And he was like, oh, that's Berg Magnus. And so Berg Magnus is head of film at ESPN,
Gotcha.
film production.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I was like, is it okay if I can get his email and reach out? He's like, yeah, of course. So he shot me his email. I reached out to him. He was so nice. He responded very fast, and we hopped on a Zoom. And after we hopped on a Zoom, he got to know me a little bit. I got to know him, and he's in Bristol, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And so after we had a great conversation, he's like, okay, I'll connect you with Suzanne, who's also so sweet. And so she's, I don't know exactly what her label might be, but she's the one that calls most of the interns or future interns. So I was on the phone
Like
with
hiring
her.
manager.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's
I was on
like
the-
HR.
I was on the phone with her. We had a few phone calls. She's just talking about like kind of like the logistics of what I would be doing where I want to go, like Bristol or New York, if I want to do production or the other options.
Mhm.
And so I told her what I would prefer to do, and then I got another interview with Nick, and then that's when he did rapid fire questions.
That sounds awesome.
Just getting ready. But I loved that interview. That was so much fun. I had a blast, and I'm just super excited for what's
It's
coming
gonna be
up. But yeah,
awesome.
there was a few interviews going into it, and it wasn't in like all week. It was in a pretty big span of time. Probably
is-
over a few months. So
It is crazy, like how like kind of sudden that stuff happens.
Right.
You know,
what like it's
like,
like
you're
yeah.
out there warming up for the biggest game of the season,
Yes.
and
Because you just got that internship, but you met this guy in
Georgia.
football season. But what I'm getting from this story is, yes, these are great connections,
Mhm.
and they're all around us. But if you didn't text Bavakwa
Right.
asking, hey, who are these people?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't have those contacts or have talked to those
Absolutely.
people. So it all comes down to you using them and using like the resources that you
Yeah.
have.
Absolutely.
For
And
sure.
and Pete, like Pete called me over. I'm so thankful that
Yeah.
Pete did that. But when people give you opportunities like that, you have to make the most out of it, you know? So,
Yeah, Mike Golick Jr.?
Yes.
Yeah, I like posted a video on my LinkedIn and he actually commented on it. And I was like, oh, that's pretty
awesome.
cool.
Who?
Mike Golick Jr.
The Golicks. You ever heard of the Golicks? Mike
Yeah.
and Mike.
Mike? No.
Famous. It's okay.
Well, they used to work at ESPN, Notre
Yeah,
Dame.
that's cool. That's cool. Okay.
You
They're
know,
really fun too.
But he
football.
commented on your.
Yeah.
That's
He
awesome.
commented on my LinkedIn. Thought that was pretty cool.
That's sick.
And then I checked back later and he'd actually sent me a message on LinkedIn.
You didn't see it.
And I was like, oh, would love to hop on a call, just kind of pick your brain, this and that. And so I hopped on a call with him last week. And
Oh, what? That's
Wait,
awesome.
this is like recent?
Yeah.
Wow.
but it was just like,
To get to know you.
we just, I got to know him. He got to know me, kind of just shooting the shit, as they say. And,
That's awesome, though.
he's like, oh, yeah, I can connect you to list
People
of people based on the stuff. He looked at my resume, saw the video, obviously, and asked kind of where I wanted to be. And he's like, oh, I know people here. I'll connect you.
So this is like in motion right now, kind of.
I mean,
because this was last week.
Yeah, but I also kind of like have a lot of stuff in motion.
Right.
If that makes sense. A lot of
I understand.
but a lot of
that.
stuff has but a lot of stuff has been in motion and then stopped. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just you just keep doing your due diligence.
Okay, what
and
is up
checking
with
in.
that? Why do boys
I got
talk
motion.
about motion?
Because I got motion.
What does that mean?
I got motion, twin.
I mean, there's could be different meanings, but like right now, he has connections.
So he's got motion.
Do I have motion?
Yeah, you got motion.
So motion's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a positive thing. But
It's a long
do
process.
you guys both have like resumes and then resume reels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
Actually,
But
I don't have reels yet.
You have so many Instagram reels that it shouldn't be an issue.
I have like a real live Instagram.
You have reel. I thought you did. You have reels from doing live Notre Dame sports.
Yeah, but not really.
You can throw
I
it.
haven't made it fully yet.
Well, I haven't either.
I didn't
you-
make it. Someone made it for me.
Constantly updates. You constantly update the reel when you get more, when you have more opportunities.
Yeah, I
and
guess.
I thought
constantly
I thought about it. I realized it'd probably be a good idea to have one. I know for the game day media class we had mentioned, or she had
Oh.
talked about making one.
There was a. I took
And-
a. Sorry.
Yeah, and we were like, I was just like, oh, just think of some clips from Golden Ticket, from my internship,
Mhm.
from NDTV, from student radio. Kind of just threw them together, threw some pictures in there along the way, and I don't know if you saw it, but
Wait.
I didn't want it. Like you were saying, like you just add on to it. I didn't want it to be too long though.
You don't. You want it to be like.
I think mine was like
so-
2 minutes.
That's
2,
good.
3
Well,
minutes.
I took a sports broadcasting class. There was a sports broadcasting class here.
I think I'm taking that next.
Colin Wilcox.
Oh yeah,
I
I
don't
wanted
know.
to take
It's
that
called
one.
like broadcasting the news.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm taking that.
Awesome
next
class.
semester.
So fun. You're
Really? I'll
you're
like
gonna
it.
love
I wanted to take
Colin
that
Wilcox.
class.
Tell her I
But
said hi.
it didn't work out.
It's the teacher. When you get there, say hi.
I will.
Say hi.
Okay.
So much fun. So your final is building a resume reel.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which
With
is
all the stuff that you did. in
yes.
class.
And so that resume reel, I have to email her actually. That resume reel is the same resume
That you
reel
used?
that I used for ESPN. And I talked about the Golden Ticket.
Yeah.
And I wanted to also talk about how I use this podcast to help.
Okay, I have something.
Do you guys have it at the top of your resume?
No.
I have
So like it depends on the job that you're applying for. So I talked to someone from ESPN before I got the job and I like interviewed for the job that you got, which is great, and I did not do well on the questions. Like very bad. Like I can say it now because it's funny. But he asked me like who I thought was gonna win the national championship, and I told him a team that
football.
wasn't even in the final 12.
The 12-team playoffs.
There were
yeah.
12 options.
That's pretty bad, Reese.
and I couldn't give him the what?
You couldn't just say Notre Dame?
He said you can't choose Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Fair.
But yeah,
That's
he's
fair.
okay, anyways, not gonna go out.
You probably said Alabama.
I said Alabama because I was like,
that's like a
oh,
fair
I was like, we were
guess,
supposed to play Alabama and everyone was scared, But the reason we didn't play them is because they didn't make it.
They didn't make it, yeah.
So I didn't know that. I didn't make that connection. Anyways, so that was bad. I didn't get that job. But I talked to someone else, and I was not supposed to tell. So the job that I got, I had to tell that person that I did not want to be on camera in the future. Like that, I couldn't tell them like my real goals because they aren't looking for people who want to be on camera. And someone told me that it's like an automatic no for them if you tell them that. Like they'll get off interviews.
A different person?
Yeah, a different person, like another HR person helped me. And then she actually helped me form my resume in order of like things. Like she was super helpful. I also sent her like a thank you note, like a handwritten thank you note. Like those are really helpful. And she really appreciated that too. So she was really helpful. And so then when I rechanged it, got rid of like pictures and videos and like got rid of the portfolio that I made of like me doing all my on-camera stuff, I got the job.
Interesting.
So it was like I had to kind of like sneak my way in, which is not like great because I didn't want to like keep that. But that was like my only way.
I think it just depends on what job you're applying for, I guess.
It's all about just getting your foot in the door too.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I wanted. But my other thing was, shoot.
But that.
What were we talking about?
But I wouldn't necessarily be. I don't say that from like just get your foot in the door and then immediately go for something else. Like,
yeah.
Like go and do your best and do everything that you can. Sure.
And then
be a sponge.
Eventually,
exactly.
you'll meet enough people, or you'll work with enough people where if they do need you, you'll be the first person to think of.
Right.
Right. It's an honor. That's how you got to go about it, right? It's a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Be a sponge. Soak it all in. Learn.
Be a sponge.
That's what I like to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what I told Nick in the interview was on like a macro level, like big picture, my goal is to have my own show one day and talk about sports. But on a micro level, like no job is too small, no matter where when I go.
You said that?
Yeah.
Of course you did. It's good. It's good stuff.
No
job is too small for me.
No job. That's how you have to go in though. Like
I always say something very similar. Like I'd like to host my own show.
Right.
Oh.
From a big picture level, but I also know that like that's not going to be something that just like
that just
happens. Like I got to work for it, and
absolutely,
I feel like I've worked so hard to get to the point where I can be applying for stuff like this. So no matter what I do, like I'll just
because you know how many people want to have
put my head down at work. Yeah, right.
Like you know, people they're interviewing, they're just like, oh, you have your own show.
Exactly.
Like
doing a radio show would be sweet.
Wait, okay.
I can see you doing it.
I remembered what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Kind of irrelevant, but I think it's a good take. So I wanted to sideline for baseball this year.
Oh, I think I've heard about it. Didn't you tell us?
Yeah.
Someone else? Did you not tell me? Or think you told me? I
don't know. Anyways, I wasn't allowed to sideline for a report for the baseball team because I have a personal relationship with some player on the team.
This is like This is like the most basic journalistic principle.
Really? For college?
Yes.
As someone,
practice how you play.
As someone who gets a script from the people that are producing the program.
Yeah, it's just like a bad look, you know.
It's not a bad look. I knew that you were gonna disagree with me.
Roses are red.
I mean, what do you think?
Violets are blue.
Zay.
I love Jesus Christ.
Say Isaiah is a big-time D1 football coach one day. And someone in K-League works for ESPN. And she works for ESPN and say she's going to like interview him or something, or interview him to write a story about him. Like,
I'm not writing stories.
But
I'm not married to Rory.
But you get the point.
I'm also told what to say. And I was already a reporter for them before I had a relationship with Rory.
Well, I think...
And I was told in an email from somebody I do not know.
But that's also like...
Anyways.
You can do other sports.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, they didn't say
like
I couldn't do it.
Oh.
Yeah, she just can't do baseball.
I want to do baseball.
That makes sense.
Why
you want to do baseball because of Rory?
No, that's not true. I did baseball before. I don't want to do softball. I don't want to do lacrosse. I don't know. I spent a whole year, maybe because I have a boyfriend, but I spent a whole year learning baseball. I knew baseball from a T. I know when they're in scoring position. I know when they're going to bunt. I know what pitches look like what. Like, I really tried hard.
Trust me. I remember you working your first baseball game. I was in the production
Yeah.
studio.
Remember you were learning the
Sorry,
pitches,
Jimmy,
too.
we're not fighting.
No, I know.
The pitches.
Okay.
I remember
I'm just
I'm
saying.
just a strong
I'm
personality.
just saying. I understand why that would be annoying, but from a basic journalistic principle perspective,
What if I was just like
It
friends
makes
with Rory
sense.
and I was like, yeah, we're really, really, really good friends.
well,
they
I
would
feel
go
like
to your
they,
Instagram,
yeah, they could just.
and then
go to
they'd be
your-
like, I don't know.
Well, I was
you
the one
guys
that
are
told
really
them
good
first
friends."
off. So maybe it was a coaching decision. I don't know. But
That could have been it. Like, maybe he's want any distractions.
yeah,
that could be,
I
You know?
guess.
but I think it's just like a journalistic.
Yeah, probably. But hey, you can still do other
Zay,
ones.
I didn't hear your opinion.
I think that
Because then, but back to what I was saying, if Kaylee interviews Zay when he's a big time D1 football coach, and then she writes this puff piece about him, there's bias in that piece.
Yeah. And I
That's
think
why
they're
it would be
starting that
that.
Yeah, I
now.
know, but that's a totally different scenario.
I think what I'm seeing in this scenario is that I believe it would be unfair if they said you cannot do anything.
Correct.
Yeah,
I think they're just saying for baseball
Baseball.
purposes, they don't want any other distractions. Am I right or am I wrong? I have no clue. But I think you can see where they're coming.
I took an ethics of journalism class, so I'm just
I trust Jimmy on this one.
going off what I learned.
I
in
Again,
knew
class.
that you
Jimmy
guys were going to
knows-
say this, but I was going to bring it up anyway.
Jimmy knows
But
his
I
stuff.
understand why you're annoyed.
Well,
I don't think.
I think
that,
no
I don't think it's
bridges
them
need to
not
be
taking you
burned.
seriously.
I don't think any bridges need to be burned.
Yeah.
And
I don't think any did, but I don't really want to be a sideline reporter anymore.
it's okay.
You want
Why
to
don't let that
you want to be an
discourage you?
influencer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, whatever
media.
comes your way, you don't know what the future holds. It's uncertain.
But-
so
I also
Maybe
don't
because
know
this
if-
happened, you realize that
you don't
okay,
want
maybe sideline reporting isn't for me.
yeah, actually, that is kind of where it came
So-
off.
Because what if you want to date
Someone
Never mind.
else.
Never mind. Never mind.
Hopefully, Roy doesn't listen to this.
Like if you want to date like a Patrick Mahomes and you're like, oh, I can't because I am sideline reporting.
Yeah. We're good to wrap it up, I think.
We didn't talk about anything.
Yeah, we did. I enjoyed talking about this. I hope someone who's listening
Facts.
needed some advice. It's a long process, looking for a job, finding a job, getting a job, internships, all that.
Dating people and getting jobs.
It's very stressful when you're, right in the thick of it.
I love y'all. It was a fun one. I'm excited for what's up and coming.
I low-key got really hasty.
It's okay
It's okay.
because we're positive.
We're a positive podcast,
We're happy go lucky.
building a platform for student athletes.
Yeah, we are.
Positivity.
Heck yeah! And guess what's coming up next? Jimmy's friends. We're Jimmy and friends.
NARP video.
Yeah, we're doing a NARP podcast after this, so stay tuned for that. That'll be next week.
Yep.
Jimmy
Looking
and Zay
forward
didn't
to it.
want me to tell you, but
Tell you what.
we're getting tight on how many episodes we have left.
Yep.
Not exact.
But
I'm
we're
graduating.
making the most out of
so-
it. We'll get into this
Yes.
in later.
Yeah, we'll talk about this.
But anyways, guys, love you.
So grateful.
Love you, Ma.
Bye.
And it's a privilege.
We gotta do the prayer.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot!
When you guys got it.
I'll do it.
All right.
All right.
Reese,
Ready?
you got it. Yep.
Dear Lord, thank you so much for gathering us for a podcast episode. We know it's been a while, but thank you so much for all the blessings and opportunities that we have gotten and are in our future. We are so grateful for this friendship and for this podcast. And we pray for all of our guests and future guests. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for listening to season 2,
Thank y'all.
episode 11. Talking about some job stuff. Be persistent.
Yeah.
Don't back down.
Yeah.
God's got you. It'll work out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.